Let me ask you this. What is humanity's greatest invention? Fire, because it allowed us to stay warm, protect ourselves, and cook food. The wheel, because it accelerated trade, transportation, and civilization. Both are strong candidates, but there is something we rarely even think about: money. Here's the strange part: money is not something you can hold like fire. You cannot turn it with your hands like a wheel. Money is actually an idea, an agreement, a story we collectively believe in. On its own, it has no value. It is only as valuable as the meaning we give it. But that does not make it unimportant. On the contrary, please give me your full attention. To make it easier for you to focus, I've opted for a simple video rather than distracting visuals, allowing you to listen carefully to what I have to say. The world before money, difficult and inefficient. Before money, people used barter. They exchanged goods for goods. You need vegetables, but you raise cattle. Then you give an animal for a sack of vegetables. You want shoes, but you build tents. You give an entire tent for one pair of shoes. Do you see the problem? There is no balance. Value is personal, and both sides must want what the other has at the same time. This is called the double coincidence of wants, and it is extremely inefficient. There is another dimension: storing value. The man who builds tents can work all year, but the farmer who grows tomatoes spoil. No matter how hard he works, he cannot preserve his wealth. So money did not just make trade easier, it made storing wealth possible. The first money, things everyone wanted. At first, people used items everyone desired as money: salt, weapons, animal skins, seashells. Then they realized something important. For something to function as money, it must be scarce. If it exists everywhere, it cannot hold value. Around 770 BC, the first metal coins were produced in China. They were made of bronze. They were valuable because they were scarce. At that time, money truly was the value itself. One gold coin equaled the gold inside it. But then rulers stepped in. If we mint more money, we become more powerful. They began mixing precious metals with cheaper ones. And at that moment, money became an illusion. Its value was no longer determined by the metal, but by authority. Paper money and the big game. Metal was heavy to carry, so kings began issuing paper certificates. Bring this back and I will give you gold. Over time, people stopped asking for the gold. They began trusting the paper itself. The system we use today is based on this: fiat money. Fiat means let it be so, the state says. This paper is worth 100 lira. And we all accept it. The printing cost of that paper is only a few cents, yet we assign thousands of lira in value to it. This is entirely a system of trust. Printing money and inflation. Now we reach the critical part. If money is a story, who writes the story? Governments and central banks. Need more spending. Print more money. But the economy runs on a simple rule. The amount of money in circulation should move parallel with the amount of goods and services produced. If more money is printed but production does not increase, what happens? Prices rise. The value of money falls. We call this inflation. The number in your bank account stays the same, but what that money can buy decreases. No one is stealing cash from your pocket, but your purchasing power quietly melts away. The great illusion. Stocks may be rising. House prices may be increasing, but they are all measured in the same currency. If the measuring stick itself is shrinking, what looks like growth might actually be standing still. That is why the issue is this. Saving money is not the solution. Placing money correctly is the solution. So what is the way out? It begins by accepting the truth. Money is not valuable on its own. The meaning we assign to it is valuable. In this game, the winners are not those who hold money. They are those who convert it into assets. Assets that grow faster than inflation. Productive things. Systems that create value. Because in a fiat money system, sitting in cash means slowly moving backward. This is not a pessimistic picture. It is seeing the rules of the game. Money may be an illusion, but the rules are real. And those who understand the rules do not get lost inside the system. Being aware of the game is more important than winning the game. If this perspective shifted something inside you, you are in the right place. History holds the answers. We will figure out where to look together.